Um, is there some kind of literature or something about a boiler room? Well, being in the boiler room. Not the boiler room. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to do another video having to do with dealing with racial issues. Here now I'm back, back in Minnesota. And just being reminded of that, I think now that I've been in so many other places in America, that we've had quality of life here, and definitely we have we've had quality of life. And I was talking about how we've never had a problem with racial conflict until, oh my gosh, what just suddenly happened, the summer of 20. And I just think that, we've had trouble with law enforcement, which is a whole other thing, and that these people, that they're not moral. They're not moral. They are the very people that you turn to for order and law and justice. There are people who are trying to cause to tear down what we've had all this time. We never had race riots in the 60s. But speaking about that, I just wanted to reach out to black people and non-white people about, I feel really strongly, the Bible says that the tongue of the wise brings healing. I feel strongly that to try to bring healing to people where they've been seriously wounded, especially lately, I've been trying with what I've been saying, because black people have been so wounded by what happened in our nation, and particularly this area. But to just talk to people about, there are other non-white people who they've been marginalized, isolated, just kind of put on the shelf. How many? We don't have a whole lot of Asians who have leading roles in movies. And natives are still. We had this wonderful native guy in the 90s who was in Maverick. He was a comedian. What a trailblazer, Graham Greene. But just not, But there are these people in our country who they're looked down on, they're isolated, they're forgotten, whatever. But I just try to talk about, I've mentioned some things about white people being insecure, and it's really true. And as non-white people, to try to understand this, and maybe to find, because we need to find a way to bring healing than really do more than ever white people. I try also to put out there the reality that we come from from Europe. There's a lot of great culture, and there's a lot to be appreciated and happy about. We're not all that. What happened in Germany? Horrible, unreal, very scary. But there were people there who were working against it. They were aware. And it wasn't all Germans, and that we needed to forgive them for what happened, and understand that they carry a lot of shame, and also realize that we've been having a lot of maybe similar things happening in our nation here in America. But also I was thinking, it was occurring to me, why do white people have the problems that they have? For one thing, I think that coming from this, especially this Druid Celtic background, that Ibn Fadi, and going there only 1,000 plus another 100 years ago, only that long ago, found people in the British Isles were just they were just straight up pagan, just and there was cannibalism and stuff. When you think about people later talking about cannibalism in Africa, white people, and they're, oh man, wow. So I just think there's this taste for that evil, in that it's there and it doesn't want to go away, and it didn't want to go away for so long. Christianity was not very well accepted. It's been very persecuted. Think of Saint Valentine, Vincent van Gogh. Valentine 250 AD. Vincent van Gogh, only in the 1800s. It was not that long ago. And just so persecuted, and just not wanting to let go of these things. Also, we've been dominating the world for so long, right? And so there's a terrible problem with pride. And pride is it's just a terrible trap that people fall into. Just to try to understand that white people have these problems, and not to see it as that they're, you know, that they're superior or that they're not accountable, for their evil, and and then because there has been a new wave of like white supremacy happening, but just to understand, like maybe from that angle, um, all these things that have been plaguing us, from who come from Europe, and the problems that we have, and like to understand, that they're just, yeah, to try to have understanding, because that would really help a lot. Because I really want to bring healing to people who are wounded in their self-image and stuff, and by oppression and pride of white people. But then I think we also we need to understand white people need they need maybe there's a lot of shame. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of shame or guilt or whatever, that they need lifted off of them for things in the past, and they're just like suffering from their like it's kind of really from low self-esteem. I think actually, a lot of white people. So it's really good to understand that.